and interfacing with a really good thinker by the name of Escher Gomez, here is what my grown-up Christmas list might look like in January. Number one, I believe that we have to improve education worldwide. The whole world needs to get on the same plane in terms of education. The world is a big place, but it's essentially very small. Nations with the best infrastructure are more prepared to adapt to the changing world, but even in developed countries like ours, science and mathematics are not growing quickly enough to prepare our children. In other countries, people are unaware of the fact that humans have actually gone out in space. Some countries still have an over 60% illiteracy rate. More money must be found around the world for global education. Science and math need to be introduced in countries where science and math have never been taught before. Schools as well as hospitals should be a given everywhere. If compassionate knowledge is disseminated, the rest becomes easier. All of us must become more tolerant people and more tolerant of people who speak English as a second language. You know how we call to get help and somebody who English isn't their first language is on the phone and we go, ah. We've got to become more tolerant of people who speak English as a second language, and we need to strive to learn another language ourselves. Thank you, Irene, for giving me a new Spanish word every Sunday. International think tanks are the peacemakers we so badly need now. Friends, the time is now. Secondly, you and I need to make ourselves agents to eliminate racism and sexism. Prejudice based on race or sex or sexual orientation, that's just a bore now. It's got to end. Terms like black opera singer or female president or gay congressperson, that serves no purpose. The prophet Martin Luther King said, the only measure of a person's worth is the content of their character. Labels like those that I just mentioned are as outmoded as a left-handed piano player. What's that, Tracy? Short basketball player. What's that? Eight-fingered seamstress. What is that? The only question is, can that person do the job? I think you and I would all agree that how fortunate we were to be in worship this morning when the communion meditation connected the dots. Can the person do the job? That's the only requirement that we have to measure anything by. If that happens, then let's move forward. We have to give up diminutive ways to describe other people so that you and I can feel more normal. That has to go. Those thoughts and classifications do the human race no good. Friend, the time to change our thinking and our talking is now. Resource efficiency, water and oil are an essential part of who we are. Dave, we talked about you last night. We talked about how you have put before us that every time you make a prayer request, just about, you've got us praying for rain. Petroleum is used in many ways in our everyday life, from computers to shoes and grocery bags. We can find millions of uses for plastic. Our forefathers and our foremothers would never have thrown a plastic bag away until it was in tatters. You know, if I go to my mother's house and you go to some of your friends' house, they open the closet, they got a bag of plastic bags, and you probably got it too. They didn't throw things away. Our foreparents collected rainwater in barrels and used every drop of it to water gardens, bathe children, clean paintbrushes, and rather than run the dishwasher 3 times a day, do you know what they did? They did dishes. We waste the earth's resources, yet refuse to believe that in this postmodernistic world, we can redistribute what we waste and redistribute our waste without any strain to provide 1 laptop for every child on earth. Friends, the time for that is now. regards to hunger, Jesus said the poor you have always with you. But in the 21st century, we have the technology that no child has to go to bed hungry. It doesn't have to happen. Food can be grown or flown to any place on earth. Once people learn how to feed themselves, they are not stupid. They will continue to grow and cultivate that which alleviates their hunger. The time to continually give to organizations like No Child Dead or Closer to Home, like we will be speaking to the congregation in just a few weeks, the Christian Church Disciples of Christ Week of Compassion for each one of us is a compelling opportunity now. Friend, the time is now. It is not like writing a $1, $5 check and say, I'm done. It is an ongoing privilege to support those groups that are determined to eradicate hunger. Environmental awareness. There's no longer any global warming debates. They're just facts. The planet is changing. We need to stay involved, with or without the government. Society needs to step up with ideas like the air tree in Madrid. What it is it's a combination of some electricity, but using the climate to generate more power to help keep people cool in the hot summers there. Solutions do not have to be complicated to solve problems. A perfect example, even more than the air trees in Madrid, is the electricity-free refrigerator that allows people in northern Nigeria to keep food for longer periods of time. And they use that at 90% of the villages that lack electricity. All of us need to recycle and not trash. Saving energy at home by not staying at home watching TV, but what? Going to the park in this beautiful place that is so much like the Garden of Eden. Bowling, dancing like so many of us like to do, or simply taking a walk. We save all that energy that we use just turning the television on again. You and I live in the closest thing to the Garden of Eden, and we have no excuse. Children now will grow up as an environmentally aware future generation, but we adults need to act immediately. Friends, the time is now. And finally, you and I must use our theological imaginations and our theological boldness to overcome religion. What? What did he say? Yes. Overcome religion. That's what he said. The results of religion have often been devastating. Who started the Crusades? The religious. Who started the Inquisition? The religious. The brutal colonization of most of the world? The religious. The Salem witch hunts? The religious. The subjugation of women? The religious. Slavery? The religious. Sexism? The religious. It took this Pope, beleaguered by all of the bureaucracy of the Catholic Church, to still have the courage to say, I am not free to advocate for birth control, but people don't have to breed like rabbits. We must work and struggle in the tension of our belief in God, which we hold so dear, and good common sense. There's tension there, of course there is, and there always will be. That's why we come to fellowship groups to talk about miracle films. That's why we come to Bible study and ask hard questions. Science, properly administrated, can work for our good. Science, or anything else used to control or kill or just for the privileged few, is evil. The study of God teaches us that all good gifts come to us through God, who wants nothing else but our good. God's good can come to us a myriad of different ways, including through science. The Word became flesh, not so that God could more closely spy on us and control us and punish us, but so that God could dwell more closely among us, feeling what we feel, walking with us through our darkest challenges, and helping us be better to each other. My friends, my daughters and sons of thunder, time for